Alright guys, we're back at the Dollar Tree, and from what I'm hearing, there's a new wave, a new January wave. So I'm excited to see what they are putting out for the January drop. Let's check it out. And by the way, welcome back to DVDs, Nuts, and Popcorn. I am your host, Mr. Tight White. Okay, what do we got here? I Killed Giants. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in that, but I am not. Anchorman, the Chuck Norris collection. I saw Tyler pick that up. Shelter. Jennifer Connelly. Nothing so far. We got Ballers. American Mortar or Martyr. Curvature. Baby Yaga. Looks like a yarn monster of some sort. Camp Cold Brook. It says Joe Dante Presents, which means nothing. Wolfbane. This is a steel case, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that behind because I've heard that's not a very good movie. Oh, there we go. Veterans for Foreign Wars. That is a really good. That's a Shudder movie that I saw on Shudder. Really solid flick. We'll talk more about that in the car. I'm definitely picking that up for $1.25. Yes, we are at $1.25 Bush, guys. Okay, next row here. Salem Witch Trials. I'm a big Witch fan, and I saw this on DVD a couple drops ago, so I'm definitely picking that up on Blu-ray. Oh, there we go. Now we got the slipcover. So I'll go ahead and put the other one back and grab the Slippity Slip. We got Sam Elliott there. Here's another Shudder. What is that? Shudder Original, The Room. I've only seen like half of that movie, but it's got a really cool premise. I need to go back and see that. I'm definitely picking that up. Nice to see so much Shudder stuff. Dolls, I believe that has Dee Wallace in it, but I think it's like a cameo appearance. I think that's a remake. Haven't heard good things about it. Another Shudder movie, The Shed. The cool little vampire flick. We'll talk about that in the car. I'm picking that up. Man, this drop is full of Shudder stuff. That's a Shudder movie right there as well. One Cut. I think it's One Dead. This is another Shudder movie. I don't like that One Dead, One Cut movie. I don't really like zombie movies. I tried to watch that movie and I did not enjoy it. But yeah, man, this is a crazy drop, man. All this Shudder stuff. Another Shudder film here. The Night Shifter. So I don't remember anything like this before. Does Shudder have something worked out with $1.25 Bush, or what is going on here? Another steel case here. Fist of Death. We got the Bruce Lee L-E-E and the Bruce Lee L-I. Is it L-I-I? This looks interesting. It's like a documentary about the Alien films. Zombie flicks. I'm not big on zombie flicks, so I'm going to leave that behind. It's all probably public domain movies as well. Demon Hole. Another. Okay, now we have the Slip. I can't remember if the other one had the Slip, but definitely picking up the Slip. Bella Thorne is in that. Ride. I don't know too much about that. Oh, what do we have here? Roger Corman Horror Collection. This is a nice little lick right here. Definitely going to grab that for the collection. Hell yeah. Roger Corman's a legend. Makes a lot of shitty movies, though. Alright, another VFW with the Slip. Kill Mode Dolls. Tigers Are Not Afraid. This is another movie that I saw on Shudder, a Shudder exclusive. I cannot believe how much Shudder shit is in this drop. It's crazy. The Pale Door. Is that a Western horror movie? Could be. Detectives. Partridge Family. I think those are like generic ninja movies. Kill Giants, Tigers Are Not Afraid Again, Pale Door, Dead Detectives, Partridge. Yummy. Some more Shudder goodness, guys. I've never seen this before. I do have a Shudder subscription. More Shudder? Are you friggin' serious? This is insane. Alright, let's check the other side here. I got the hookup 2 on Blu-ray. I guess that's pretty cool, but I think if that was the first film, I would definitely pick it up. Let me see what we got here. Lo and behold, another Shudder original, Z. That's crazy. Alright, Killer Party, that's a good flick. Pick that up on Blu-ray if you have not yet. The Piper. Interesting. Okay, another Night Shifter. That's without the slip, I believe. Or did that have... No, yeah, that's without the slip. Dead Detectives. Pale Door. Tigers Are Not Afraid. Just, yeah, man. Just chock full of Shudder shit, man. Insane. Another slip of the Night Shifter. Very interesting drop. Yeah, get out to your Dollar Trees, man. If you're into Shudder, especially if you're like 90% of the people. Okay, we have Notorious Big there. I might grab that. Never seen that before.
Put dicks in me.
I don't see my chest.
Yeah.
You can't shave the chest. You have to use shears on his chest. You can't just shave the chest like that. You have to literally like use a lawnmower first, and then use shears, and then use scissors, and then use clippers, and then use a razor. All right, guys. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the better drops, at least in my opinion, that Buck25 has had for quite some time now. What I was trying to say in the Dollar Tree was, if you do not, like most people I know do not have a Shudder subscription, which I really don't know why. It's super cheap. Listen, I don't work for them or anything, but I see a lot of great horror stuff on there. And so this is the time to get out to your Dollar Trees and pick up some of these Shudder originals, Shudder exclusives, Shudder associated movies that release on Shudder, because there's a ton of them right now. Now, before I show you this box of DVDs and one Blu-ray that I picked up, I want to shout out to everybody that showed up for the live stream, the 1980s live stream that we did last night. I also want to shout out to all my Dollar Tree dorks that are going to check out this video. And also, in the link below, if you guys support this channel, please support my friend Mario, Retro Tiburon. He started a YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link in the description below. And his first video is talking about all the games, the video games he's beat in 2021. So please do me a favor and support his channel. Also in the description below, I'm going to put my boy Ty Lord Stevenson.
I'm going to put his channel, so subscribe to his channel if you probably have, but if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. And then also in the description, I'm going to put Super Duper Gaming World. He does the beats and the music for much of my videos, so please go support him as well. I know he had to start a new channel because his channel got hacked, so he's only got like 4 or 5 subscribers, so he definitely needs a boost, and I would greatly appreciate it. All right, now, enough said. Let's get into the movies. All right, first up here, this is I think this is a film out of Mexico. Tigers Are Not Afraid. Now, this is a 2017 exclusive, directed by Isa Lopez. Shout out to my female directors out there. I always love seeing that. A young girl, basically the premise to this is a young girl joins a kid street gang after her mother disappears. I can't remember. It might have had something to do with the drug cartels. This movie is set to a backdrop of drug cartels and a lot of like vicious murders and stuff. And these kids are running the streets in these Mexican ghettos. And this has a very, like Guillermo I can never say his name, Guillermo del Toro vibe to it. It's a very magical type of journey. I, shamefully enough, never finished watching it. Not really sure why. How long is this? It's only 84 minutes, so I don't know. I don't get it. Like, sometimes I just, not black out, but I just zone out. Maybe because usually when I watch movies, I'm kind of jumping on YouTube. I got my laptop right next to me, which is a bad habit. But I do remember really liking this, and I will go back and check this out, and I'm real happy to have a physical copy of it. So, yeah, check your Dollar Trees for this, guys. It's definitely worth the pickup. Next up, this is considered, a Shudder original, and it's called Yummy. Human flesh never tasted so good. And this is a 2019 Shudder original, and it is a zombie film set in a hospital. Now, besides Return of the Living Dead, Day of the Living Dead, I guess Night of the Living Dead, I'm not a huge zombie fan. Maybe even the movie Zombie is good, but all these other generic zombie movies that's come out since those OG zombie films, I'm not a big fan of. Really wasn't a big fan of 28 Days Later or 20 Days After. All that, those movies are just, I don't know. I don't like them. You know, I mean, I'm not saying they're bad movies, but I'm not into them. I don't know what else to say, but this is a Shudder original, and I did want to add a physical copy of this Shudder film to my collection, and I will check it out. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a decent one. And who is this directed by? This is directed by, if I could find it. Why do I not see the director of this? So weird that it doesn't put, it should, okay, starring, okay, it says a film by Lars Damase, I believe is his name. Instead of saying directed, it says a film by. So yeah. All right, next up, this is a movie that, guys, I like to watch all the movies, you know how I am. I like to watch a lot of the movies. I want to be a little bit different than some channels. When I pick up stuff at Dollar Tree or Goodwill, I want to at least know something about the movies. So, unfortunately, yes, some of them I have seen. I've only seen half of some of them. There's another movie that we're going to go into that I've only seen half of for some reason. But I have seen a few. There's some that I haven't seen, but I watched 2 today. I watched one that I've only seen half of. Actually, there's 2 movies that I've only seen half of. The Room and Z. But I finished watching Z today, and I watched this from start to finish, which is a Western horror movie. I don't know if you guys remember in one of my Goodwill hunting videos, I picked up the movie Dead Birds, and it just, too much CGI. I just wasn't a big fan of it, but it was a Western horror movie, and I was looking for a decent Western horror movie. I don't think I found it, but probably enjoyed this a little more than Dead Birds because it did have a lot of practical effects, but The Pale Door, I like the name of it. This is a Paper Streets Pictures release that came out in 2020, and it's directed by Aaron B. Kuntz. That sounds familiar. His dad probably was a director, I'm assuming. But yeah, guys, I picked this up at one Dollar Tree without the slip, and then I found it with the slip, so I had to go back. Now I am a degenerate slip lover, I guess. So I think Ty Lord wanted this, so I'll be sending this his way. But to get into the movie, basically this crew of bank robbers, well, in the beginning of the movie, there's an older brother and a younger brother, and their farm or ranch is attacked by these, you don't know who they are, but they kill the parents, so they are left as, abandoned the two kids, but there is I believe the guy might even have been a slave or whatever, but he's kind of looks after them, and the older brother grows up and joins a gang, and this gang robs banks and robs trains and stuff like that, so they end up going to rob a train, this gang. The younger brother, who is not like a criminal, ends up coming along because someone gets killed in a shootout in the streets. So he comes along against his brother's, advice and or his better judgment. And then they rob a train, and they think they're going to get away with all this gold and coins or money and stuff. But they end up finding a girl locked in a chest instead of money. And they're like, and she's like I don't know, maybe 16, 15 years old, maybe 17, 18, I guess at the oldest. And they're like, they don't know what to do. They're like, what are we going to do? So the girl talks them into bringing her back to what ends up being a brothel. But I think she tries to say it's her home or whatever. And she doesn't say it's a brothel at first, so they don't know. And she says they will be generously rewarded if they bring her back. So they're criminals. They're thinking about money. So they say, okay, we'll bring you back. They bring her back, and it's almost like a Silent Hill type of town. It's like real mysterious and stuff. It's seems like it's abandoned and stuff. Obviously, this is a Western. This is in the old days, early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. But they end up going to a brothel. Out of the blue, there's this brothel with all these beautiful women and stuff. And I won't spoil it after this. Let me just put it to you this way. This is a witch movie. This is about a witch coven. And I think you get the point. But yeah, I had a lot of problems with this movie. It did have a lot of cool practical effects and stuff, but I just didn't... it was way too much drama in it. And I just didn't buy the actors. I mean... you had a few good actors in it, but some of the actors were just, so generic, and I really didn't care for them. The younger brother was super generic. The older brother was actually pretty generic as well. There was a couple of good actors in it. Let me see if I can. It says Bill Sage. Pat Healy is somebody that I know. Pat Healy, he was good in it. And I'm not sure of the other guy. The other guy I really don't recognize from other movies, but he was pretty good in it. This, the black guy right here, I'm not sure what his name is, but I've seen him in a lot of movies, and I liked him in the movie. I thought he did a good acting job. But this just fell short for me. And like I said, I'm a huge witch fan, and I love Westerns, so this was the perfect recipe for a movie that I was going to love. So I was a bit let down by it, honestly. It's not bad, but it just wasn't, I just thought it was going to be a lot better. All right, next up, this is a movie that I only seen half of, and I'm not sure why I turned this off, because I actually enjoyed this the first time I watched it. This is a 2019 Shudder original directed by Brandon Christensen, and it's called Z. And I'll just read the synopsis. When Beth's son brings home an imaginary friend named Z, she becomes concerned that he is falling too deep into the world of make-believe. He starts to display a extremely destructive behavior, blaming Z for all of his actions. But after he gets kicked out of school, Beth is forced to find a solution. she medicates her son, making him unable to see his imaginary companion. But now Beth sees Z, and he wants to be her friend. There's more to the story than that as far as the relationship between Z and the mother, but I'll try not to give too much away here. But man, there was some there were some really good jump scares in this movie. Some genuinely creepy moments in the movie, and I enjoyed this one. This one kind of surprised me, man. There's a really cool scene. I don't think this is spoiling. I'll go ahead and say it. There's a scene in the movie where he's already kicked out of school. The kid's creepy, he's weird, and she's like calling everybody in the phone book or like some kind of book she has with numbers and stuff. Maybe it's like from the school, calling all the parents, can my son play with your kid? And they're like hanging up on her, like no one wants to play with this kid at all. And then finally she gets one lady to answer the phone, and she goes over to her house, but she still doesn't want him to play, really. They kind of force themselves on this family, and the boy asks, he says, where is your daughter at? Oh, she's upstairs, but she's sleeping. And he disappears, and so now she's worried, but she's talking to the mother of this weird kid, as all the movies fall to the floor. And they have a shot of the mother talking to her, and you can see behind her, and there's this staircase, and they have like a 3-story house, I guess, because the stairs go up at least 3-4 stories. And all of a sudden they're having a conversation, and just out of the blue, the daughter falls from the top floor and just smashes down on the banister. It makes this huge thud. It's really an impactful scene. And of course, you know, the mother goes over there and looks up, and the son is like not looking at her, but then he just looks down with this evil look and looks at her. And yeah, it's quite an effective scene. But yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. I'm not sure who this actor is right here, but I remember him being in movies before. He's like the doctor or the psychiatrist in the movie. All right, next up here. All right, let's go with a non-Shudder original or Shudder exclusive here. Put these up here. So I picked this up. This is the Roger Corman collection, and it has 5 movies on here. The original Little Shop of Horrors, The Terror with Boris Karloff, Dementia 13, She-Gods of Shark Reef. That's got to be the greatest movie name of all time. She-Gods of Shark Reef. And then we have Swamp Woman. I'm not sure. I think Jack Nicholson is in one of these movies as well. Yeah, starring Jack Nicholson, Boris Karloff, Mary Windsor, Mike Connors, and more. So some of these movies are black and white. This is all the way back to the 50s and some movies in the 60s. Now, everybody that, like, I actually thought this as well. People always refer to the 1986 Rick Moranis remake when it comes to Little Shop of Horrors. I thought that was the OG, to be honest with you, but this is actually the OG 1960 released movie directed by Roger Corman. Now, Roger Corman's known for making some really bad movies, and this is not, I mean, he's made some really cool movies as well, but he makes some really cheesy, like, B type of movies, and obviously with names like Swamp Woman and She-Gods of or Shark Reef, you can get that. I think Dementia 13 might have had some decent reviews, and The Little Shop of Horrors definitely got good reviews. But yeah, happy to pick that up for the collection, man. Can't get enough Roger Corman stuff. I always confuse him with Lloyd Kaufman for some reason. I think we were doing that in the live stream last night, saying that when I showed that off, we were saying that he made Toxic Avenger and Class of Nukem High, which is not true. That's Lloyd Kaufman. Roger Corman is more famous for some of his older stuff. All right, this is not a Shudder movie, I don't think. It doesn't say Shudder on it. But what is it called? The Piper. So this is a 2015 CJ Entertainment release directed by Kim Gwang Tai. It's a retelling of the Brothers Grimm classic, The Pied Piper. And if you don't remember that Brothers Grimm classic, that was about this guy who there was a town that rats infested the town, and there was a plague with the rats, so it was real dangerous. And they paid this guy, this Pied Piper, who was, I guess, an exterminator, to get rid of all of the rats in town. So he pulled out what I think is called a fife, and he played this song on that fife, and all of the rats followed him. So he took all of the rats into the water. I think maybe it was the ocean or a lake or something like that. And all the rats followed him and died and drowned it in the water. So now he's this hero, but they promised to pay him like this exuberant amount of money, and they tried to back out of it and not pay him what they promised to pay him. So he ended up using that fife again and luring all of the kids to follow him into the mountains, and all of the children from the town disappeared. I want to say one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films tried to tie into that lore, kind of, with, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure Tyler's going to watch this. I know we talked about that on the live stream. I think one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets did try to tie into that with some kind of side story or something about the Pied Piper, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, it's got some pretty good write-ups on the back of it, and it looks really gory. So yeah, I figured I'd roll the dice on that. This is what death sounds like. Great splatterhouse of genuine horror and bizarre fantasy. Hollywood, the Hollywood News. I don't know if we can listen to Hollywood News, but yeah, definitely a dice roll for sure. It might suck. All right, this is a movie that I know nothing about, and it looks like I didn't take any notes on it as well. We'll just read the synopsis on it. It looks like it came out in, let me see here, 2017-ish, around that time. It's called Mon Monsters, and this is a Shudder original. And it says, a group of classmates doing community service discover two flesh-eating creatures hiding in an old building. One of the creatures is able to escape, but they capture the other one, torturing her while trying to learn what she really is. It soon becomes clear that the first creature's escape has dire consequences, as she hunts them down and stops at nothing to free her sister. Looks really creepy. It almost sounds like a Attack of the Block. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It has a kind of a similar premise, but Attack of the Block had an alien that they found and killed. So yeah, look forward to checking that one out. And everybody knows I'm a huge witch fan. So I saw this at Dollar Tree, I don't know, a couple drops ago on DVD, but I decided not to pick it up. I'm glad I waited, because here it is on Blu-ray. And this is a 2002 Echo Bridge release, directed by Joseph Sargent. This is a 3-hour and 11-minute movie. I might have passed up on it if I knew that. It has no right to be that long of a movie. What was this, made for television or some shit? Was this a mini-series, or what the hell's going on here? But yeah, it has, so this is basically the Salem, Massachusetts. By the way, I was born in Waltham, Massachusetts. A lot of people don't know that. I moved when I was like 1 year old down south. But yeah, so this happened around Waltham and Salem back in the, what was it, the 1600s or something like that? I'm taking a guess, of course, but they used to burn witches and shit. Yeah, the Salem witch trials was from 1692, so pretty good guess there. This has Kirstie Alley, I think she stars in it. Rebecca De Mornay, Christian Booth, Shirley MacLaine. It's got some pretty heavy hitter actresses in it. But yeah, man, I was sold on that, man, as soon as I saw it, that it was a Blu-ray. And yeah, I'll be checking that out soon, let you guys know if it's any good. And next up here, this is called Memory. It's the origins of Alien. Take an in-depth voyage into the sci-fi masterpiece Alien with the visionary filmmakers who created it. See how one of the most terrifying movies of all time burst to life 40 years ago. Inspired by ancient mythology and our universal fears. Let me see. It says Screen Media and Legion M partnered to acquire distribution rights to this film based on votes from thousands of fans on the Legion M Film Scout platform during the 2019 Sundance Film Festival. It's the first time fans have ever united to find and invest in a distribution of a film at Sundance. Okay, very interesting. So, Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time. I prefer Alien over Aliens. It's a little bit controversial for some people, but, you know, the foundation is so awesome in Alien. I love Sigourney Weaver's performance. The Alien, it's kind of a slow burn till you finally see it. And once you see it, it's one of the most amazing reveals of any movie I've ever seen in my life. Such a cool monster. And yeah, man, so I'm all about documentaries. I love documentaries. The original Alien came out in 1979. And yeah, looking forward to seeing this one. All right, this is a movie I think when I first got my Shudder subscription a couple years back, I watched this. This is one of the first movies that I watched. This is a 2019 Fangoria release directed by Joe Begos. And it's VFW, which stands for Veterans of Foreign Wars. And, you know, a loose premise of it is this team. So all of these guys are in a bar that, you know, they all fought with each other in the war, or they might be younger people that are in the military now. So it's a brotherhood of people that have either fought with each other or are going to, you know, or have just joined the military now. And it's all full of like really cool actors, man. It's got the guy from, I just learned this last night. I didn't know he was in Don't Breathe. I'm sure he's in a lot of other cool stuff because in Don't Breathe, I don't think that guy talks too much, but he's a really good actor. I would love to see some more movies with him in it. And then you got, of course, Fred Williamson, the classic actor. I think he's going to be at a film, not film festival, but a convention, a horror movie convention soon in California that Tyler's talking about going to. And then you got, I don't know this guy's name, but he's been in a ton of movies. He was in, what's the movie called? Not Creepshow. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. He was in that. And then you have the guy from Karate Kid. The Cobra Kai guy. So, really cool. And also, I don't know if you can see that. The guy from Cheers, Norm, is in this. So there's a lot of really cool, old school guys in this. And basically this teenager runs into the bar all of a sudden, and she's got 2 bags full of drugs. This is like crank or something like that like really like hypes people up. It's like cocaine or crank or meth or something like that. And it's like the hottest drug on the streets. She took it from like this crazy drug dealer, and the drug dealer runs the streets. He's this crime boss. Next thing you know, they're not asking any questions. The streets are trying to attack it's almost like a zombie film with drug dealers, and the drug dealers, dope fiends. They're like running like they're zombies, and they're trying to break into the bar. So they have to fort themselves up in the bar. They have all kinds of artillery. And yeah, it's very much like a zombie film, to be honest with you. But yeah, really cool flick, super bloody. And yeah, man, like a very reminiscent of an 80s grindhouse type of flick, man. Really enjoyed this. Got the slippity slip cover. Definitely check this out. If you see this at your Dollar Tree, grab that. Hopefully I'm doing it justice with my description. This is a movie right here that I only watched half of it for some reason, but I am going to go back to it because I really like the premise of this movie. So this is a 2019 Shudder original where a couple moves into a new house and finds a hidden room that holds the power to materialize anything that they wish for. Now, this is directed by Christian Volkman. And so, yeah, I mean, they find this room. They wish for $1 million. The next day, there's $1 million stacked right there. They wish for a baby because they can't have babies because of complications. And then a baby is there. So, but what is the expression? Be careful what you wish for. It's one of those movies where, you know, wishing for something could cause dire consequences, and that's definitely what happens in this movie, or from what I heard. But you know, like I said, I've only watched some of it. So, and again, we have the slipcover. Always nice to get the slip. Don't even trip. All right, this is a movie that I have not seen, but it actually sounds like, I think this is like a horror comedy. Hopefully it's more horror than the comedy, but we'll see what kind of balance they execute with this, or the director executes with this. This is a 2017 Shudder exclusive, directed by Alice Lowe. Shout out to my female directors. And once again, so the premise loosely is, she with her partner, which I'm assuming is a guy, unless they, you know, went to a clinic to get her fertilized, because she's like 9 months, she's like 9 months pregnant, or she looks like she's 9 months pregnant here. She looks big. So they are climbing, I guess, with friends on this climbing adventure, this climbing vacation. And it kind of, the premise sounds like maybe it was an accident, but her friends might have been a little bit careless. So her partner ends up dying. Okay. So now all of a sudden, her baby, her unborn baby in her stomach, the fetus, is now talking to her somehow. I guess telepathically or something like that. She hears voices from her unborn baby telling her to get revenge and how to exact the revenge. So it has kind of I think that's like a cool concept. So yeah, definitely I want to check this one out. Prevenge. Running out of room here. All right, we'll just throw these back in the box. All right, the last movie is actually a cool little vampire flick. This is a 2019 A Bigger Boat production called The Shed. And the premise is, two best friends are bullied a lot at school. This vampire ends up in one of the kids' shed because it's running from the sunlight. I can't, it might have been running from someone trying to kill it or whatever, but I know it was running from the sunlight. The shed is well shaded. I think the windows are covered and stuff, so it's able to survive in there, but obviously it needs to feed. And like I said, these kids are bullied. So the one kid that's one of the kids, it hides in its shed. The kid finds out about it. He's scared as hell. He doesn't know what to do with it. His best friend that is bullied as well comes over and finds out about the vampire. Now he has an ulterior motive on what to do with the people that have been bullying them as to having this vampire in the shed. I'm sure you get the point. So that's kind of the premise of it. If I remember correctly, it's been a few years since I watched this. I remember really enjoying this. I think it was pretty good. So, I mean, don't take my word for it. Pick it up for $1.25. Check it out. It's definitely worth that for sure. But I remember it being good, if my memory serves me correctly. All right, guys, that is it. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got one. Do I got one more? Oh yeah, I do have one more. Then I got to get back to the house and check out some of these movies, man. I didn't really take too much note of this one. This is a movie that I have not seen before. The Night Shifter. This is a 2018 Shudder exclusive. And this guy is a technician at this morgue. This one definitely has subtitles, guy. This might be a Spanish film. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? I think it's in Brazil. So this Brazilian morgue, like in a real bad area, so people are like dying constantly. Dead people are constantly showing up at this morgue. This guy, the technician that works there, has this special ability to talk to the dead. So the dead are coming in and they're talking to him, and somehow he gets some idea. Let me see. Let me read this. Whatever his name is, can talk to the dead, and they talk back. But when the whispers of the dead reveal secrets of his own life, Stinio, I'm sure I'm butchering that, unleashes a curse that brings forth an unimaginable danger and darkness. So, a little cloudy on what that's all about. But again, guy that works at a morgue talks to the dead, and he finds out some crazy shit that the dead is telling him, and then shit all of a sudden gets really out of control. Did come with the slip. And, yeah, if I remember correctly, this got a decent write-up. But I'm going to watch all these movies. Maybe I'll review them later on for you guys. But anyway, that is it from the $1.25 Bush. Another haul, one of the better hauls that I've seen in quite some time. And if you are a fan of Shudder and if you're a fan of, I shouldn't say that. If you do not have Shudder, I'm telling you right now, it's a perfect opportunity to get Shudder or run out to your Dollar Tree and get some of these physical copies. Hopefully this will be a trend. In the next following months, we'll see more Shudder movies showing up at Dollar Tree. And yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next video. And I'll talk to you guys later. Good luck out there hunting down media. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.